Okay, shout out to that one time I thought this video was gonna work. Ugh. Sup, sluts? How are you? I'm good, thanks. So today I have a new video idea. I hope it works, and I hope I follow through. So, you know how you think about all the awkward things you've done in your past and all the weird moments, and you're just like, hey, shout out to that time, right? Have you ever thought that? Like, shout out to that time when blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm calling this video Shout Out to That Time When and then I wrote down a bunch of different awkward moments when I did things. So I'm gonna say shout out to that time when and then pick one, and then I'll read it and I'll explain it, or maybe act it out, or who knows what'll happen. It's gonna be fun. I have a bunch of different prompts in here, you know. Some are more complicated than others. Some are kind of sad. If I get to it, it'll explain. Okay, so let's just try one and see if I could do this. Okay, ooh, I got one. Okay, so shout out to that time when I forgot the words to the national anthem. In middle school, I was on my middle school gymnastics team, and this was during a time when I thought I could sing. And at the beginning of this competition, me and this other girl volunteered to sing the national anthem, and I full-blown just skipped a line, and she kind of looked at me. I kept going because I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing this. I don't even remember the words to the national anthem if I were to think about them right now. Oh, say, can you see by the dark light what so proudly we... Yep, I think I just skipped like 7 lines right there. Shout out to that one time I told a golfer they sucked at the PGA Tour thing.
Well, here we go. Make it, and we have a playoff. Oh my goodness.
Wow, sucks.
There's that story. See, like a lot of these stories kind of suck. I need to get a good juicy story. I'm gonna get like a really sad one, I know what. Shout out to that time when I hit the sad one.
Hello, dark.
Shout out to that time when I lost a friend because I had my period on her bed. It's so much more complicated than that, but that's pretty much the gist of it. My freshman year of college was the worst year of my life. I was going through a lot of dark stuff. I was very low, and this is when I, as I've said before, self-harmed. And there was this girl who I was friends with who knew about it and not confronted me, but she saw it and she like talked to me about it, and I opened to her about it, and I was, you know, talking to her about it. So we lived in a hotel my freshman year of college. Because of the college that I went to, they didn't have enough dorming, so they had like deals with like other hotels nearby, and like some people got to live in the hotels, so I was one of the people that lived in the hotels. The hotel cleans your sheets, pretty much. Like they change your sheets. And I was sitting on her bed. She wasn't there. I was with her roommate. And I look down and I see that a little bit of my period blood is on the sheets. And I'm like, oh shit. But this was like Tuesday, and like usually on Wednesdays they do the sheets. So I was like, in the back of my mind, I didn't say anything, but in my mind I'm like, well, tomorrow they do the sheets. Maybe if I don't say anything, she won't know. So I went back to my room, went to sleep, blah, blah, blah. Next day, they didn't do the sheets. And I'm in the room with her, and she looks and she sees it, and she's like, did you have a nosebleed? And I full blown was like, no, it was my period. And she said, okay. At that moment, next day passed, she knocks on my door, and she's like, can I talk to you? And I was like, okay. So she takes me to like another part of the hotel, like to have a nice serious conversation. And she full blown is like, hey, I can't be friends with a liar. And I was like, excuse me? And like, she's like, you didn't tell me you did this. Like, that's really gross. And I was like, well, I'm sorry I didn't tell you in the moment, but like when you did ask me about it, I did tell you. It's not like I lied when you told me about it. And full blown, yeah, she's like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I can't be your friend. And I started crying hysterically, and I had to go to play practice because there was a play that I was shout out to a time when I fucking made a play. The real kicker of this whole thing is school was ending in maybe a little over a month. I was never going to go back to that school again. She was never going to have to see me again, and she knew I was suicidal. So, do you tell a suicidal girl that you don't want to be friends with them anymore? Probably not. She's lucky I didn't kill myself because I had great friends and family that weren't her. And you know what? That moment in my life is something I really should get over. But it's just sticks to me that she would do that because I would never do that. I would never tell someone who's so sad and so depressed that is cutting herself and is suicidal, and you still tell her you don't want to be your friend anymore. And then, like I said, school still went on, so I still saw her, and I saw her the next day, and like I saw her roommate, and she kind of like, her roommate was kind of like, hi, and she, while we're sitting inside, has her sunglasses on, not looking at me, like trying to think she's fucking better than me with her sunglasses on in the corner. And I'm like, okay, this is the type of person I thought I was friends with. So, fuck that bitch. Shout out to the time I paid $50 to kill a squirrel. Okay, so this is another kind of sad, more kind of funny story. So one day I was going out into my backyard and I saw a squirrel having a seizure. And I legit went into a panic attack. I went into like this whole thing. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my God, this squirrel's having a seizure. Like, what am I gonna do? So I go back into my house, try to look for a box. I can't find a box anywhere. The only box I can find was this box of Sweet and Low that we got from my grandpa. And I dumped out the box of Sweet and Low. So there's fucking sugar packets everywhere. And I go back to the backyard and try to scoop up this squirrel. And like, it's just going everywhere and it's still having a seizure. Oh my God, I'm like picturing this now. And I'm like freaking out. So I'm like Googling like squirrel seizures. Like I'm calling like animal hospitals. And like one of them is like, yeah, I mean, you can bring him and see what we can do. So like I scoop this thing up, put it in the box, put it in my car while it's still having a seizure in the box. I fucking like seatbelt it and I'm like driving to the animal hospital and I like show up there and I like put the box down and I'm like, I don't know what to do, like blah, blah, blah. So they like take the squirrel and they go and whatever. The time passes, they come out and they're like, there's nothing we can do. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, but we can euthanize it to put it out of its pain. And I'm like, okay, that's best choice, whatever. They're like, it's $50 because it's an exotic animal or something. I was like, okay. I had my wallet in the car. Like legit did have my wallet in the car because I was like in a panic. Like thankfully I brought my wallet. Like I could have just easily forgot my wallet. I was like, okay. So I went to the car. I could have drove away, but I instead got my wallet, went back to the animal hospital and paid $50 to kill this squirrel that I found having a seizure in my backyard.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more and then that's it. And then we're done. So shout out to that. Shout out to that one time I saw Martha Stewart on an elevator through my mom's job. I think she did this thing called Operation Backpack, which is where you go and you like help and like fill up backpacks to give to kids who can't afford backpacks for like beginning of school. So you fill them with like books and coloring things and pencils and pens and all these like school supplies that they're gonna need. And we did this in this like building in the city, and this building was like a building that like Martha Stewart like worked in. And we were leaving, and we were on an elevator, and there was like a bunch of us on the elevator. And Martha Stewart, like the door opens, and Martha Stewart is there, and like she's like waving at someone. And I thought she was waving at us. I didn't even realize this is Martha Stewart either. This is just a lady. And my mom and I waved back, and like she gives us like the fucking dirtiest look. She's like, I'm fucking waving at you type of look. Like, please. The door closes, we go, and then we're walking, and I'm like, I think it was Martha Stewart. And my mom's like, oh, if I knew that was Martha Stewart, I wouldn't have waved to her. Because she was mean to my dad. Because my dad did work for her. And she was a bitch, apparently. Sorry. That's the motherfucking tea. Martha Stewart's a bitch. Okay, so that's my story today. These are all my shout-out moments. I have more awkward moments in my life. I hope this was kind of entertaining. Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was going to be funnier than it was, but who knows? It's all in the editing. So to future me editing this, I hope it's funny. Ugh, I hate when I say it's funny because it's like, go fuck yourself. And the bombs bursting in air.